preserved my youth. Not only did it capture my goals, it told me the truth.
Conversate for a few, cause it a few.
I let them know we missing you. The love is unconditional.
Wave your hands across the land if we family.
We got a world premiere right here, now get lost.
So off we go, let the trumpets blow. And hold on, because the driver of the mission is a pro.
Because I do think that sometimes identity politics can be the death of us.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because would you say that now, okay, I want to say this. Before I'm anything else in the world, I am Black. And that is simply because I have a Black mama and a Black daddy. So when they decided to be very kind to each other one night and create me, the only thing guaranteed about my identity is that I would be Black.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's who I am first. That's the only guaranteed portion of me, you know, that came out of this situation. So, and I'm very proud to be Black. I don't hide it. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to advocate for it. None of that stuff. But I've got to look beyond Black when it comes to how I'm voting or what I'm suggesting. Clarence Thomas is Black. Is he somebody I would support? No.
Tim Scott is Black.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So just because someone has your same race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or whatever, doesn't mean that, you know, that's who you vote for. I would never vote for Candace Owens.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, we got to get past that.
You know, and it's, you know, we got a mayor here in Dallas, Eric Johnson. 4 months after being elected as a Democrat, he said he was switching to the Republican Party. You see how they do? You see how they do? And it's the old saying, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
That's right.
And, you know, you're right. It may not be incumbent on the actual candidates. But I think one of the things that the Republicans and MAGA do well is that they know how to come up with a message, make it simple and plain, and to be able to get their voting bloc to go out and vote. Now, it's easy for them because, again, they have one main issue that will always be an issue for them: white supremacy. Now, I think the other thing, too, is that Democrats operate more like a coalition.
Yes, the big tent.
Versus Republicans are a united front. So you got, hey, listen, well, what are you going to do for the Black community? What are you going to do for the Hispanics? What are you going to do for the LGBTQ, right? And even in the LGBTQ, you know, as a matter of fact, the young man that I talked to yesterday, he said LGBTQ because some of them don't even want to associate with the trans community. So there's all this sometimes infighting when instead of saying, hey, listen, we need to just be united and to be able to root these people out that want to have control and have this white Christian national government where people like us don't matter.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and one of the things that you talked about speaking to a young man that came from Atlanta that had culture shock when he got to your area. One of the things that I think we really need to do is to get these young people together. And I'm very, very concerned about it because a lot of them, including my children, I got young adults, they receive their information from TikTok. Because if it's on TikTok and somebody puts some eerie music behind it, right, then it must be true, right? But there's no fact-based research. There's nothing going along. And one of the things that burned me up was one of the young men in my life said, Republican, Democrat, they're both the same. They're all politicians. None of them are no good.
Right.
And this attack on our right to elect officials that represent us came about. I made sure and I messaged him. I said, are they still the same?
That's right.
He was like, Kamala and Trump, they're the same. No, they are not. And it's such an unintelligent thing to say. So in your opinion, how do we reach them without being, because they're a different generation. Like we came from those people, we came from people who realized that we all we got. We came from people that fought for our rights. And they are more of an entitled generation, but we need them. So in your opinion, how do we reach out to them to get them motivated to vote?
First of all, we have to listen to them. We have to listen to them. And when I say listen, we need to listen for understanding and not listen to correct, because they are also, they're not big on correction.
at
You're
all.
gonna do nothing. Yeah, you're gonna do nothing but push them away. So we have to listen to them and see what things are important to them. Craft messages around some of the things that are important to them. And like right now, they're concerned about things like they can't afford a house. You have people in their 30s who are like, by the time my parents were this age, they've been paying for their house for 5 years, and I can't even save up for the 10% down or the 3% down. So we've got to listen to them about the things that are important to them, and also come up with policies and craft messages around the things that are important to them. Also, give them a seat at the table. I'm not saying they all have to be things like mayors or anything, but there are a lot of civic boards that could use their input. Put those young folks on the rec board. Put one of them on planning and zoning. Let them understand, how decisions are made. Let them understand land use. Because, that same crowd could be like, you know what? I'm mad because I tried to open a vape shop and they wouldn't let me open a vape shop. Yeah, you're right next. On one side of you is a preschool, and the other side of you is a church. Of course, they're not going to let you do it. But if you understand land use, you'll know that you can't open this up. So put them in position to learn things, be exposed to government and how things work.
You're right, because I think back to when I first graduated from college, and I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. Don't let the red mess you up. This is for the show. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, and I remember, trying to transition from being involved on the college level in my chapter to the graduate level, right, to the alumni level.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I remember how condescending some of the older brothers were, and like, yeah, you young brothers, y'all just come and help be the muscle and lift the chairs, set up for the events. We need y'all to show up and do this, but you don't really have any input on the direction of what we do. So then what happened?
Hmm.
We just checked out. A lot of them
Right.
checked out. Well, if I don't have any say so and I'm just there to be there, then why would I even show up to, where I'm not respected or even valued? And I think you're right. We are seeing that a lot with these young people. We're seeing it a lot with Black men. And
Hmm. Especially in Georgia.
while I don't agree with those Black men, I think that it's a problem for the Democratic Party, and they have to find a way to resolve it. And it's not going to be by hiring white pollsters. They need to get people like you and me, or even younger people than us, to be able to go
Hmm.
out and relate, get the answers that we need, and to frame the message in a way that's relatable and that's going to be efficient to turn this thing around.
I would go a step further with the black men problem. I don't think that the Democratic Party has a problem with black men. I think that we have a heterosexual black man problem. I think there's plenty of space, plenty of opportunity, plenty of welcoming open arms for black men who identify as the LGBT community. But I think that it's I haven't seen it be very welcoming to heterosexual black men. I
Why do you
don't
think
know
that is?
why. I just said I don't know why. I do not know why. But I watch and I hear their frustration. I see their frustration. And I've talked to some of them because I'm a boy mom. So it's certain things I look for and I pay attention to because I'm very sensitive about, well, would my sons be welcome here? Would my sons thrive here? And it's not just a party I look at that way. I look at a lot of things. And I want this to be a world where everybody is welcome. Everybody has an opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity to thrive. And I just have not seen heterosexual black men be able to make much headway in our party.
Hmm.